gaining shots to scare people out of their way. They were on motorcycle carrying 2 AK-47 guns.
The victims, according to an eyewitness, had gone to withdraw about 5,000 Ghana cedis from the Fidelity Bank branch at the West Hills shopping mall at Weja. The robbers, who had trailed them, demanded they hand over the money at gunpoint. They took the money and sped off. The Weja police have been informed and are currently investigating the incident. Some eyewitnesses say the robbers were not masked and can easily be identified.
The Ghana Police Service has placed a financial reward of 50,000 Ghana cedis on any information that will lead to the arrest of a robbery gang that attacked some people in some parts of Accra recently. In a statement signed by the Acting Director General of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Kwesi Ofori, the police administration has instituted some urgent additional measures to arrest the thugs and is appealing to the public to exercise patience as the service takes steps to deal with the threat.
The police are also advising the public and corporate organizations to be cautious when withdrawing or depositing huge sums of money or contact the police for assistance in such transactions. The police service is also urging members of the public to report any suspicious behavior or movement or of any person on the following emergency numbers: 030-277-3906 or 0302787373 or 18555 or 191. The police administration says it is grateful to the public for their continued assistance and has given assurance they will keep communities safe with support from the public.
Now, the police say Mrs. Josephine Penny Mensah Simons has reportedly confessed to a team of medical and investigation officers attending to her at the Fiankwanta Regional Hospital in the Western Region that she was not pregnant. According to the report, she has since asked for forgiveness from her husband, Mr. Michael Simons, who appears to be innocent and in a state of shock.
The victim, now a suspect according to the police, has not been intimate with her husband for the past few months, claiming she could lose the baby. The police sources all laboratory tests and analysis from the Fiankwanta Hospital so far suggest that the woman was neither pregnant nor had given birth. Meanwhile, medical authorities say Mrs. Josephine Mensah is in a stable condition and responding to treatment and assured that the facility will not be compromised in its work. We are now joined on the phone by our Western Regional correspondent Desmond Kujo for an update on this developing story. Desmond, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you confirm that Mrs. Josephine Simons had confessed that she was not pregnant?
Yes, I can tell you that she indeed confessed to a team of psychologists and police investigators who were assigned to her. According to our sources at the police station, when the result of the examination conducted by a team of specialists, obstetric gynecologists, showed the results to her, she was made aware of the enormity of the situation before her, and she confessed before the psychiatrist that she was not pregnant. She faked the pregnancy as well as the kidnapping. It also come out that the number that she used, or the alleged kidnappers used in calling the mother for the ransom, was actually registered in a barely a month ago. And they used the number interchangeably, switch it off and on as part of the scheme of the kidnap story. So it is indeed true that yes, she confessed that both the pregnancy and the kidnap story was fake.
So has she explained why she faked this pregnancy for this long?
As of now, we don't know the reason why she did that. We are waiting for the police to give us further information. But what we can tell you now, she's no longer, her status has changed as a victim of kidnap to now a suspect. It's now being handled by the Accra Central Police Station. The husband, Michael, and the mother were initially arrested, but they've been granted bail. So it is only paying Simons who is before the police right now.
So how is the neighborhood reacting to this latest development? Looking at the fact that they were all concerned and there were even cases of them cursing.
Well, actually, a lot of people must have invited at the police station trying to confirm that the she's confessed. That a lot of people offered their support, sympathize with her, but that the narration has changed. People are wondering why a woman will fake a pregnancy without the consent of the husband, and who would care other people, including the mother and other family members, for them to believe that she was pregnant, when actually was false. So the nation is right now changing. All those who are insulting people, attacking, have now tuned down and now wondering why she did that.
So that's with the community. How is the family, extended family, taking this news?
Actually, we're now the president of the Accra Central Police, so we are here to get to the family house to see how the situation is at the family house right now.
A report suggests that she asked for forgiveness from her husband. Do you have any knowledge of his reaction to this turn of events?
Yes, our information is that when she confessed, she called for the husband so that she confessed to the husband and seek for his forgiveness. But for the husband to either forgive or not, that one cannot. We are here to get the husband to make a statement to the new information that has come up.
Well, there were reports that she had a child or they have a child. Is that also true?
Yes, that is a fact that she already had a baby before she married Michael, and that the baby is not Michael's biological son. That is a fact.
So it brings us to the question again of why she would fake this pregnancy.
Yes, that is what the psychologists and investigators are trying to unravel, why a young woman will pretend she was pregnant when she was not, and also fake kidnapping, try to get ransom from the mother and the family members. So we're waiting for the psychologists and the investigators to come out with that fact.
All right, so what is the next line of action for the medical officers and the police? If you
for the medical people, they are tight-lipped. They are not saying anything. We are waiting for the police to tell us when she will be arraigned before court. Because initially the husband and the mother were for conspiracy. They've been granted bail. But we are waiting for the charges that we preferred against the suspects right now. And when she's arraigned before court, then we know the next line of action.
All right, so thank you very much. We've been speaking to our Western Regional Correspondent, Desmond Kojo, bringing us up to speed on the latest on a third-day missing woman who was pregnant, allegedly. You're still watching News Hour Live on GBC News. In other news, the Accra Municipal Assembly has voted to confirm the president's nominee as the Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Akwenuasa Jima. Mr. Akwenuasa Jima pulled all the 18 votes cast, representing 100% of the total votes cast. He is the first of the 43 persons nominated by President Akufo-Addo last Sunday for consideration for the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the Ashanti region.
Mr. Akwenuasa Jima, an entrepreneur by profession, served as the first ever municipal chief executive since the Accra municipality was upgraded into an autonomous administrative district from its previous status as a sub-metro under the Kumasi metropolis. In that position, he served for only 2 terms. At the assembly meeting at Accra to confirm his nomination were the traditional leaders led by the Accra Hine, Nana Febamwa, the Accra MP, Madam Patricia Piejei, Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the NPP, Akwasi Chei, all the 18 elected and appointed assembly members, staff of the assembly, NPP faithful, and a cross-section of the public. The voting process was supervised by a team of officials from the Accra Municipal Elections Office, led by the Municipal Elections Officer, Madam Rosemary Ejay Chumesi, who officially declared the results and formally introduced a new NCE to the people. In his victory speech, the new Accra Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Konya Sajima, thanked particularly the chiefs and the assembly members for reposing confidence in his leadership capacities to continue serving the people of the municipality. He called for the total support of all to enable him to bring development to the municipality.
The New Patriotic Party, NPP, is calling for changes in the 1992 Constitution to make it possible for Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, MMDCEs, to be elected on partisan basis. Addressing the media in Accra, the General Secretary of the NPP, Mr. Boabeng Asamoah, said it has become imperative for that jurisdiction, which currently falls under the executive powers of government, to be given to political parties to solve the brouhaha associated with the appointment of MMDCEs. The nomination by the President of 260 MMDCEs about a week ago led to chaos in some districts and municipalities.
The NPP believes the amendment of Article 55(3) to allow for multi-party contest for MMDCs and assembly member positions will break the syndrome of winner-takes-all once and for all, and thereby stabilize the practice of liberal multi-choice democracy in Ghana. Every party would have a stake in the progress of the country at any point in time through local resource control and policy ownership. It would seem that there is no more debate about electing MMDCs. What is at stake is whether to elect them on multi-party basis. The NPP is clear about elections on a multi-party platform. Under the heading Governance on page 164 of the 2020 NPP manifesto, we have said we will, and I'm quoting, work to build consensus towards amendment of Articles 55(3) and 243 of the Constitution and any other consequential laws to allow for the direct popular election of MMDCs on a partisan basis and to devolve more powers to local authorities.
The Progressive People's Party, PPP, has called for amendment of the 1992 Constitution to do away with the winner-takes-all syndrome in our political system. Addressing the media in Accra, the Executive Director of the party, Mr. Richard Niama, argued that the 1992 Constitution cannot sustain Ghana's democratic dispensation beyond the 2024 election, and therefore some fundamental changes have to be made in it.
Excessive executive powers, a compromised parliament, and I'll deal with parliament in the details of the press statement, abuse of power, unbridled political corruption, waste of Ghana's resources, nepotism, mediocrity, mismanagement of the economy, and constant failure of leadership. In fact, the current constitution, in our view, has created a situation where the winning political parties have treated the republic as a colony to be conquered and its resources taken for welfare of the few privileged members of the party in power, depriving the significant majority of Ghanaians the dividends of a well-constituted democratic state. Ladies and gentlemen, the stability of the country is threatened by sheer greed, elite capture, and an intense exclusionary political system where citizenship is no longer enough requirement to have access to state resources and to partake in the sharing of the national cake. A citizen must necessarily require membership of the party in power to benefit from the welfare state. this winner takes all 1992 constitution cannot and will not sustain our democratic dividends beyond the 2020 elections. Therefore, the urgent need for implementation of the following fundamental constitutional amendments.
It's been few months into the campaign to make Accra work again. The regional minister and his team have crisscrossed parts of the region to demolish illegal structures, all in a bid to bring some sanity into the workings of the city. In support of this agenda, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council has received some support for a successful exercise.
It was after he was sworn in that he swung into action to deal with some acts of indiscipline in the capital, including the clearing of squatters, demolishing of illegal structures and relocation of markets. Greater Accra Regional Minister Mr. Henry Quarte's campaign to make Accra work had a primary focus to promote sanitation, security, health, education and discipline. The Greater Accra Coordinating Council is supporting the project to create sustainable, sound and an enabling environment for all to live, work and do business in a decent environment. So far, considerable successes have been chalked up. For instance, onion sellers have been resettled from Agbogbloshie to Ajen Kotoku, unauthorized structures have been removed, clean-up exercises carried out, and city guards assigned to ensure law and order, among others. But there remains a lot more ahead. MY Caesar Company, producers of Dr. Caesar Energy Drink, donated 50 packs of their product to support the Accra agenda. The company says this is to boost energy levels of staff of the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council for the duty ahead. The market operations manager of the company, Mr. Emmanuel Chayo, commended the council for its good work to make Accra clean. Receiving the items on behalf of the Greater Accra Regional Minister, the Chief Director of the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, Mrs. Felicia Dapa, thanked management of MY Caesar Company for the gesture. She called on other corporate institutions to support the Make Accra Work campaign to make it a reality.
You're still watching News Hour live on GBC News. Although a number of examination malpractices, such as examination question leakages and fraud, were recorded at initial stages of this year's WASEE at a handful of centers, the prompt investigation and security measures adopted by the authorities have ensured incident-free exercise. This was evident when the Deputy Minister for Education in charge of Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET, Mrs. Gifty Chum Ampofo, toured some WASEE centers in the Greater Accra region for first-hand information on how both the invigilators and candidates are complying with the rules and regulations regarding the conduct of the examination. Over Yadakon reports.
On her tour of the centres, Mrs. Gifty Chumampofu inspected the exam centres and ongoing infrastructure projects and also interacted with heads and staff of some technical schools. About 24,000 candidates are writing the TVET final exams in the ongoing WASEE. At the Teshi Technical Training Institute, Mrs. Chumampofu reiterated government's commitment to enhance technical and vocational education to make it more attractive. According to her, the government believes that TVET is key to the country's industrialization agenda as it provides the manpower for skills development. The next port of call for the Deputy Minister was Tema Technical Institute, where students were writing their exams under strict supervision by invigilators. Mrs. Gifty Chumampofu advised the candidates to desist from examination malpractices and rather study hard and take advantage of the government's flagship program, the One District, One Factory program. She also toured the institute's newly constructed state-of-the-art engineering laboratory.
We want to train the students and really training them with this modern equipment. One interesting thing about this equipment is they are not just for teaching and learning. They are industrial equipment. One, for the schools to make some additional income, and two, for industries to even collaborate with them for the facilities that they have here.
As a further step to safeguard the integrity of the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASEE, more stringent measures have been instituted in all centers across the country. These include strict internal controls and compliance by all staff to the security regulations of WAEC, increased inspection and monitoring at the various centers. Extra surveillance has also been mounted on schools that are suspected to be engaged in cheating. For GBC News, Ofiwa Dakon reporting.
Literacy rates have gone up in sub-Saharan Africa and internet access has improved considerably. Nonetheless, a lot more must happen for this region to catch up. A local governance analyst, Dr. Eric Odruosai, is urging African leaders to invest in improving literacy levels as it is central to good governance, democracy and the quality of political engagement. With education touted as a fundamental human right, he insists that the promotion of education and literacy should be a national priority. Literacy experts and advocates maintain that as democratic values and behaviors are socially learned and not genetic, education must play a part in fostering greater democracy.
Africa, we have copied democracy blindly. In Western democracy, the way it operates, the literacy rate is very high. In our part of the world, the literacy rate is not as high as I expected. And you see, we have a lot of educated illiterates who are easily swayed by certain things. So I think that we should invest more in education, improve the literacy rate before we can wholesale implement Western democracy. Because implementing Western democracy without higher level of illiteracy rate, we are going to suffer. And that is why we are suffering. Most people in Guinea may not have the literacy rate that you and I have. So they are easily swayed by a few majority for their selfish interests. And it's happening all over. So let us invest in education. Let us improve the literacy rate. And even as we do that, let us find a way of evolving an African type of democracy that will fit into our present circumstance.
The Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dinah Asuna-Madapa, says she is disappointed that female students from the Upper East region are not showing an interest in pursuing law. At a seminar at Nangodi in the region, Justice Dinah Dapa said the study of law is not the preserve of men alone.
The one-day seminar dubbed Demystifying the Legal Profession was aimed at educating and encouraging the people to develop interest in the law profession. Many young people from afar and near thronged to the Nabdam District Assembly Conference Hall for the program. In an address, Madam Dinah Asuna-Madapa expressed worry about the low turnout of ladies at the event. She explained that the law is one of the easiest and important courses to offer at the university.
So where from the fear? You have to face this fear because you are required. It's not the law. So why don't you take the advantage of being the law? It is part of the process of getting to know the law.
Speaking to GBC News, organizer of the seminar, lawyer Lamting Apanga of Prestige Partners, said he saw the need to organize this seminar to demystify the fears, the doubts and the inhibitions that prevent citizens of the Upper East region from pursuing law as a profession.
A few more of them have cleared those doubts and those fears that they have. The issues of it's expensive, I am too old, the course I did for secondary school will not allow me to be able to do it. Today we've been able to answer those questions.
An initiative to improve on the literacy of pupils in the Boakwa South Municipal Directorate in the Eastern region has been launched. The idea behind the Kingsley Spelling Challenge is to build the vocabulary of pupils in the early stage of their educational career.
Learning in the formative years are the years in which the child learns more quickly than at any time of life. These are the years in which a child experiences rapid intellectual, social, emotional and physical development. And with English being the official language spoken in Ghana, the idea behind this initiative was to perfect it in the children. So to build on this, the Kingsley Spelling Challenge has been launched in the Abuakwa South Municipal Directorate in the Eastern Region. It is an initiative of the Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Mr. Kingsley Ajiman, and targets primary pupils in the municipality to help prepare them for the future. The Municipal Director of Education in the Abuakwa South Municipal Directorate, Mr. Daniel Yeboah, hailed the intervention.
It is hoped that at the end of the competition, the overall impact will be of help to our learners as they improve their spelling, increase their vocabularies, learn concept and develop correct English usage that will help them in their own personal lives, growth and development.
The coordinator of the Kingsley Spelling Challenge, Mr. Michael Darko, mentioned the modalities and prizes in the challenge.
The overall winner of the contest will take home a cash prize of 1,500 cedis for each contestant, 3,000 cedis to the school, a project for the school, and this project will be determined by the school authorities, and then a vacation trip for all contestants and 2 of their teachers. So teachers, this is where
some participating schools said they are ready for the challenge.
I am happy that we are part of this spelling challenge.
I'm happy that Mr. Kingsley Ajiman brought this spelling challenge, and I'm sure that our school will finally win.
The Kingsley Spelling Challenge takes off from the 23rd of October 2021 and have 27 primary schools in the maiden edition.
Star of Ghana, Star of Ghana, everybody toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought results.
You're watching the news live on GBC. We take a break. When we come back, we'll do some business. Please stay.
It's GTP,
the name behind authentic and original Ghanaian textile prints,
and West Africa's leading print and textile brand.
Step out in style in any GTP fabric.
Classy, head-turning, elegant, snazzy.
GBC newscasters are cloaked by GTP.
The outfits are designed by Joanna Fashions, Nyaniba Estates, B Vogue and Designs Kaswa,
and Alan David Collections, Havana in Accra.
Let me get Yes! Wow! At 72, I still receive salary alerts because I made the best decision to invest lump sum into the retirement salary.
Invest a lump sum today in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life, funeral cover, and the option of signing on with a spouse. Please call Old Mutual today, 050-453-4333.
Me feely ahotonkwa.
Old Mutual, 176 years of doing great things.
Better tell you the truth, it's not the magic that make it come true, it makes you achieve, but it's your hard work and your persistence. That's the way you will succeed. Really go get up and do the road. Let us see you go, but it's a long way to go. Oh, I am gonna help you walk the extra mile. If you don't have enough energy when you find yourself lost in, let us be your friend.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
for staying on. It's Friday. We do business, brought to you by MTN. MTN is everywhere you go. In our very first story, impose a 5 percentage point spread between the policy rates and lending rates. The IEA urges the Bank of Ghana as the central bank prepares to announce a new rate on Monday. The IEA emphasizes that capping the spread between lending rate and the policy rate does not amount to introducing control policy in the financial industry, as some analysts suggest. The economic think tank also wants the Apex Bank to regulate other financial charges to reduce the cost of banking. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana is holding its 102nd meeting, September 22 to September 25. The meeting will end with a decision on the policy rate currently at 13.5% on Monday. The MPC meeting is being held at a time of heightened concerns about the persistence of high lending rates in the country. These concerns were given further focus recently by President Akufo-Addo when he inaugurated the new board of the Bank of Ghana on August 20. Noting the negative effect of high lending rates on the economy, the president called out to the board to address the problem as a matter of urgency. In a statement copied GBC News, the Institute of Economic Affairs IEA noted that it has conducted extensive research and advocacy on the problem and made concrete proposals for addressing it. The IEA argues that banks, government and the Bank of Ghana are jointly responsible for the problem of high lending rates in the country. The institute traced the responsibility of banks to their operating inefficiencies, high structural costs, poor system of product appraisal, collusive practices and customer capture. They accuse the government of high borrowing from banks to finance budget deficits, macroeconomic instability associated with high budget deficits, and high and multiple taxes imposed on banks. The IEA argues that given past experiences, it cannot count on banks, government and the Bank of Ghana to voluntarily honor their respective roles to bring lending rates down in the foreseeable future. As such, the Institute suggests that the best way to achieve effective and prompt result is to regulate the lending rate policy rate spread. With the Bank of Ghana, the central bank in its Forex forward rates auction on 22nd September met the target of auctioning $50 million to bidders for the United States dollar. The $50 million was, however, out of a total of $133 million bid submitted by banks, importers and exporters.
Demand for dollar by banks, businesses and particularly importers and exporters has seen a huge increment over the past week. The rise in demand for the greenback is evidenced by the recent subscription of the Bank of Ghana's dollar auction. In accepting the $50 million bids made, the BOG rejected bids to the tune of $83.75 million from buyers. Bids by buyers were made for the 7-day, 15-day, 30-day, 45-day and 60-day tenors. Total bids submitted for the 7-day tenor amounted to $76.5 million, of which the BOG accepted $25.5 million. For the 15-day, 30-day, 45-day and 60-day tenors, bids made total $42 million, $12.25 million, $1.5 million and $1.5 million respectively. The BOG, however, accepted bids for the 15-day, 30-day, 45-day and 60-day tenors, which totaled $19.75 million, $3.25 million, $1 million and $500,000 respectively. No bids were made for the 75-day tenor. The BOG's Forex forward auction program is to help govern the conduct of Forex auctions on the interbank foreign exchange market, deepen the Forex market and reduce uncertainty on the future availability of dollars to meet the Forex need of banks, importers, exporters and other businesses.
We go to the interbank Forex market and bring you updates on how the cedis perform. We also update you on latest price of major commodities on the international market.